Welcome to a new episode, and maybe I want to lead this episode, or rather, kick it off, or lead into this episode. That's what I want to say, by asking you, why do women nag so much? The sounds. I remember in college when we used to go morning class, and obviously they used to eat whatever you get, like never planned it properly. Suddenly, that was quiet. I mean, when it happened, you're like, oh, and you bend over your belly.
But it's really loud.
It's loud, and suddenly the lecturer, professor would say something, and then what do you guys think? Wow! And they would come with
That's so true, though.
Their frappuccino, latte, something. I would go with water, and I just say, and it's like whale song.
Yeah.
And at correct time, she'll just be like, "All right, let's just think about this for a second." Which might happen during the podcast. Welcome to a new episode of the podcast. We're starting off with stomach groans and moans and whale song. Hope you've been well. And as we record today, the US hotly contested elections are coming to a close. Of course, Kamala, Trump, it's something which we argued about, even though I have no dog in this race. But anyway, maybe having a dog in the race didn't cast her vote. Very evil. Anyhow, welcome to a new episode. And maybe I want to lead this episode, or rather, kick it off, or lead into this episode. That's what I want to say, by asking you, why do women nag so much? You know the example I'm referring to.
You know why? Because men are dumb.
See the start.
And really stupid. Insensitive. I mean, you want me to start?
Yeah, go for it.
Insensitive, stupid. There are 100 things.
So you clearly can't name them. My point I'm going to take up here, stupidity is such a easy thing to say because you'll have all the women going, "It's so stupid." But I think that's in some areas, maybe with sensitivity, men are stupid, or rather insensitive or unaware of what the woman is going through. We can't be stupid, man, because come on, the number of men, of course, I'm going to say women as well, but the number of men who contributed to where we are today, of course, while you say that the number of men have also destroyed so much of what we have, is crazy, because men, yes, and I will say this on behalf of myself, can't speak for every man out there, but yes, sometimes our ego and our pride and our stubbornness does overtake our wiser choices. And but I'm talking of a more recent example that you and I witnessed and we agreed on. It was just this,
for a change.
Yeah, it was just crazy how both of us were at this person's house, and literally 5 minutes into us being there, his wife takes off on how he just didn't act on certain things. And she was not speaking in the first person, she was speaking in the third person. I got confused as fuck. Because she's like, somebody didn't do what they were supposed to do. And then somebody was supposed to follow up on this. And I was looking and we go, who the fuck is this somebody, right? It's 4 of us in the room. 2 were not us. Just refer to the person.
You do realize they listen to this podcast.
If they do, they do. I'm not speaking about
any particular.
I don't think they were aware of it. Because then she's like, but someone here decided, I'm like, oh God, there's somebody and there's someone. Like,
was it me, do you think?
Yeah, no, it wasn't us for sure, because we were there for 5 minutes and we weren't doing the things that they were talking about. But the nagging thing I asked you is because, see, it's a reflection on something beyond just nagging, right? The nagging could be like different ways, right? It could be something as silly as, oh, you didn't make the bed, or you didn't pick up the things that I asked you to pick up, or something more serious like you didn't chip in with helping out with the kids, or something. Even thing like, why do you hang out with your family so much? We've seen all these examples across the board. But is it a thing that the woman is trying to cast control over the guy? No, because in some situations we do see that.
I mean, maybe, but I don't.
Or is it a way of trying to get the guy to do more?
I think it is to get the guy to do more. I think we're at that transition phase where we're trying to get to a certain equality where men and women do similar things and same things because we all are working now and we're all kind of taking care of.
But I don't think nagging's a matter of equality. Women have been nagging for...
At least that's why I would nag.
I don't
But if it's
I heard
like,
even
say,
Mary Magdalene at the Last Supper was nagging Jesus. We're like, oh my God, you're so untidy at the table, like you're dropping everything. You know that?
no.
See? Then how can you say equality?
So that's her department. So like,
The Christians will be happy to hear that. Mary Magdalene.
I don't know. I feel like if it's like you come into somebody else's space and then
You get pregnant.
you're not doing what you're supposed to do correctly, then
You're
it's
not
like,
explaining this well at all. Come on. Because you're saying from one side it's a way of getting equality or rather reminding the man.
that's me, I said, yeah.
You.
Yeah.
Me. Oh God. But I don't
Like that's
understand
why I would nag. That's the
But
only
why would
reason.
you nag about it? See, because if you're...
Because you don't get it then, no? If you don't nag.
I think
I
you
mean,
get it.
like,
That's
nagging
such
you
a...
won't get it.
Yeah, exactly my point. Nagging doesn't get shit done. Because you, in your own right, do everything that you want to do and that you need to do and get it done. And automatically things get done. But if you nag, you see your own example. Nagging versus just getting your shit done. So much more gets done.
Oh, wow. And then while you just sit there and then I have to just
I
watch
do
you
automatically.
What?
I do whatever I have to do. My point is
means
nagging doesn't help me. I'm saying as a guide, telling you as a person who's nagged me in the past, nagging doesn't help. In fact, it goes the other way. It's annoying.
Yeah, maybe because mothers used to nag their children so much that they feel like the wives are also becoming like their mothers.
And this is something important, right? Like, and I've told you this in the past. I already have one mom. I don't need another one. And that's something which I think a lot of women do, is they have this quote unquote maternal instinct. Like, dude, keep it for your kids. I don't think husbands need to be mothered. And I think here's the problem though, having said that, some husbands want mothers. I mean, not their own, besides their own. They want their wife to play the role of that mother. What is wrong with guys?
I don't know, ask guys who you know who want their mothers as
I don't know
wives.
too many guys like that, but I know a couple of
How
guys.
about this recent conversation, recent experiences that we've had?
It's weird because obviously there is this bond between the mother and the son. You know that. And we've seen that, like with my mom and me and with a lot of friends. There is a stronger bond between the mother and the son than the son and the father.
That's because egos, I think, come in a way.
Yeah, and also, and fathers are like, what if he becomes better than me? That is true. Better than me, like in success-wise.
He will be better than
He
you,
will, of course. And you should hope for that, right?
Yeah.
You should give him the guidance and the strength and the
Why don't
base
we tell Sita Ramarao?
Yeah, let's not say that. But
I mean, they know who your mother is, no?
no.
They don't.
Yeah. No, that aside, we're changing the topic. The thing is, why would you want someone else to kind of, it's not about because that's where I feel sometimes that mother-in-law, daughter-in-law issue happens.
No, maybe a little bit, but
you're so quick to say no without even processing what I said.
No, because I had two thoughts in my head. One
but you didn't listen to what I just said.
I heard.
Bullshit.
One is like getting into responsibilities in each other's spaces. That's why mother-in-law, daughter-in-laws have issues.
No, that's one thing which is, of course, an issue when you live in the same place. But I think beyond that, why is it that some mother-in-law, daughter-in-laws can't stand each other? It's because of this threat that the son will pick one over the other, or...
And you know why that happens? Because the sons are so silly that they
Please
don't...
blame it on the fucking son. What has the son done in this? I'm talking about the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law,
the son. They are the ones that
poor boy has to be the mediator, or rather take the shit from both ends, the mother and the wife.
That's your lot in life.
How is that silly? Okay, if that's our lot in life, why do you bitch us out for having such an easy life and women having it so tough?
It's not so difficult also to manage your mother and your
nightmare.
wife. I mean, I don't think so.
It's stupidity on both ends, like blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, you are the problem. Like, what? If you hate each other, take it to a ring and punch it out, dude. Why throw me? I'll be the referee. Just going knockout, done.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to be the boy in between the mother and the wife. It's hard.
You
I
guys want
understand
to
that.
remember that statement because she'll never ever fucking say it again.
Yeah, never. But it is hard. I get it. But at the same time, you can manage your relationships a lot better. I feel like there is little less sensitivity, less empathy, less understanding of other people's emotions, you're so caught up in your own head a lot of the times. And I don't know if this is like a general statement I can make, but I'm talking about you specifically, which we can possibly generalize. But like men don't get into things so much, no? Like they just superficially think about something and then move on to like some golf game or
you can't
something
generalize,
else.
yeah.
That's why I'm talking
bullshit
about
because
you.
there are
That's
some
why
of
I
the
said I'm
most
not.
intelligent, and I don't just think about superficial things. I think a lot more deeply. Deeply about a lot more things that you give me credit for. It's just because I don't express it with you, you think I'm shallow,
Maybe.
which is rubbish because I think you're more shallow than a baby pool. But here's the point coming to this. Do you think it's the notion of growing up that is given to men? Because men are told at a young age, don't cry, don't show weakness. You have to show your physical force. You have to, like, if someone thinks you have to punch them or you have to stand up for yourself. You can't show fear. So we are in a wrong way forced to grow up without actually growing up. And emotionally, we aren't able to express our feelings. And that's why we come across as stupid, as you put it, quote unquote, stupid. Because we are told to do all these things to project masculinity, right? Which is responsibility, which is this sense of aggression or the sense of like, I'll provide for, without the other part, which is what growing up is a lot about, which is making peace with your feelings or understanding your feelings. And when you get to an age where you kind of checked all the boxes, you have a house, you have a family, you're providing for, maybe not all the time, of course, now the wife also provides for before you bite my effing head off. It's this,
why bite my effing head
I know,
off?
I was
like,
saying fucking till now, no? Yeah.
But why so much aggression?
Not aggression at all. It's the thing that men are expected to do, the things that they're told not to do, not to show because it's a sign of weakness. And then this idea of what they think growing up is, or what we think growing up is, finally we get there and we're like, wait, I'm a grown up, but we're not actually grown up.
Yeah. No, that's such a wrong way to expect men to not have these emotions.
Yeah.
And that's probably where all of this is coming from, right?
Correct.
Like you then are kind
You've
of
heard grown men, right? I mean, no, sorry for interrupting. But you have these grown men and like they're probably head of industries or they have whatever business they're successful. They come home, kya mummy, aap kya bola? like,
I don't think
I'm not saying kya mummy, kya bola is not it's okay, call your mom whatever you want. But it's almost like you enter the house, it's almost like, but mom, my mom said.
No, but even at home, a lot of people are still showcasing that masculine.
Yeah, but they might do that with their wives or whatever, saying, I control the money. But dude, when their mom calls, they go running like little bitches. And that's because they haven't grown up in certain aspects of their life. Why? While I have coffee.
I mean, I don't know if it's just men, right? It's women as well. Like we...
No, explain me this first before you talk about it.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not just men or women. I feel like it's
explain why this happens first to men, and then we can take it forward with.
I think with men specifically, it happens because you're told to be a certain way, and you're supposed to hide all of these emotions that you actually are feeling. So, like if you're angry or sad or whatever, that you're told to not feel that. And even with younger children, like whether girls or boys nowadays, when you're telling them like, why are you crying? Why should you cry? Or like those kind of things, you're telling them that there is no need for you to feel these things. Like that's kind of where it all starts. And it's so important to have the ability and the option to express what you're feeling.
Yeah. No, it's so essential because, but if that same principle applies where boys are asked not to show feeling, except if it's like, oh, look at him, he's my little gundappa, he went and fought in the sandpit, right? But on the contrary to that, girls are told, oh, it's okay, she's a girl, she's crying. Yeah. Does that mean girls are more comfortable with their emotions sooner than boys?
No,
and
I think...
girls, and as a result, women, and boys as a result,
No,
men.
I think generally, like science has said that women...
Nicely, you cover up that lack of evidence with science.
I don't know.
It's the broadest umbrella possible where you can just hide behind science,
I don't know what else to say.
as opposed to philosophy has shown us.
I don't know. I've just heard.
Who the universe? The universe told me
That's
last
what-
night in a dream that I had.
That women mature faster than men,
Mm.
like scientifically, the
Mm.
brains and all of that.
The multiple brains that exist within us.
Yeah, so you know what I mean.
Yeah,
no?
yeah, sure. But I hope they do, because they come here and this woman is spouting, oh, science and brains that we all have. Mm.
Don't be rude, Sandeep.
Mm.
So, what does that say?
According to science or according to math?
No. Yeah.
Okay, let's take this idea. Okay, let's not get into biological, whether we mature fast or not. But okay, maybe socially,
It's true though.
if you're told that you're weak and it's okay to cry, I think in a way that's great. See, because if you are told to put up this front of, oh, you're never show fear, never show vulnerability, always be the aggressor, always this thing, in some way that's suppressing fear, that's suppressing your emotions, which does so much damage in the long run.
Yeah.
And that's why men, including me, for the longest time use other ways to escape this, whether it's substances, whether it's coping mechanisms. And because you're like, man, you know what, the way I'm supposed to feel is not accepted by people. So let me at least use this to kind of prop me up, a crutch, to kind of let loose when I'm drunk or when I'm under the influence of drugs. Because then you're like, yeah, this is who I really am. I cry, I fight, I this thing. Because that's why we have, in some ways, the band, Boys to Men.
But what you're saying is not just true only for men, is what I'm saying.
I mean, that's why we have a society which is depressed, anxious, because those things are told as being a sickness. I'm not saying science doesn't say depression is a problem, but why are we at the most heightened sort of situation of risk for youngsters, right? Because we're told to suppress our emotions. And the other side, just to self-diagnose yourself with the sicknesses out there, because I honestly feel there's a heightened use of substance right now, alcohol, drugs, whatnot, because we're told not to feel these things, that feeling these things is not normal, which is so wrong.
Yeah, like this other day, my cousin was telling me about this story about how these kids who are in their 12th grade, like her son's friends, are all like on Adderall, and all of them are faking a test to basically say
Get some Adderall.
To get some Adderall. And
Crazy, you know?
they like, and then the conversation that they are having with their friends is, hey, you seem to have the same trouble as me. Maybe you should try it. This will really help you. And these are 12th graders.
So a brain which is, people have said at 18, if you smoke weed, you're going to get fucked for the rest of your life.
Basically, right?
Give it some synthetic heroin, right? May as well.
May as well.
Yeah.
Because they say, that the first 3 years and those teenage years, I don't know the exact years, but it is the most amount of growth that's happening for the brain. And
I mean, we were told when we were like 17, 18, if you smoke, your lung capacity will reduce. If you drink, of course, these things. Yeah, but this is okay now?
Yeah.
So every generation has a new kind of thing. The substance has changed, but it's the same kind of thing, right? Like, don't show your emotions, suppress your emotions. So obviously these boys are being told that, this is what it means to be a boy. And now you add these new labels on these new layers of LGBTQ, transgender. You add this new thing that, the noise of social media. What are these boys and girls supposed to do?
It's hard. It's really crazy.
I think we're going to go back. With AI coming in, AI is going to just do all the work for us. And we'll start becoming smaller and smaller into these little primitive tribes where we become hunter-gatherer. And, just be like, yeah, cool.
But, there is becoming a larger population of people who are leaning towards that way of living a lot
you call
more.
Larger population, that's probably 1%. Maybe.
No, I'm saying people are actually at least having these conversations of going back to your roots, going back
but
to...
that's a very small percentage because the masses
it is. I mean,
are
it has
still
to start.
being... Yeah, exactly. It's great.
It has to start.
But I'm saying the masses are still being driven. Like, consume.
Yeah.
Get on social media, the footprint. Like, we see like in Bangalore where we live, right? Like these Diwali nights which happened recently. Like, it's people like, go party, make noise, go shop, go this thing. I'm like, it's nowhere close, but I'm glad the seed is being planted.
Yeah. I mean, like specifically if you talk about, may not be, it is relevant. Like Ayurvedic products, right? Like in the beauty sector or whatever, people are moving away from like the lot of mainstream products that are coming out, at least coming into like a Sephora or whatever, are Ayurveda, are made with like some saffron from the Himalayas. Like those kind of products are coming into the market. So people are looking towards more indigenous ways of doing
True,
things
but
and natural way of doing things.
I mean, the thing is, in every place there's noise, right? Like just yesterday, I was reading this article. I think it was in the Guardian or something about the most popular wellness hacks in 2024, and one was called the cortisol face, where people on TikTok are saying if you have too much stress, you get puffy face, which is cortisol, which is rubbish apparently, because unless you have some severe overload of cortisol, you get these side effects. Other thing is red light treatment, right? The only red light I'd heard till then was, you know what I mean. But then there's the other one where people are promoting you consuming cow this thing, cholesterol. Is it colostrum? Colostrum,
Yeah.
the one which breast milk has. So people having that. Then I saw somewhere else where they're getting stem cells from.
I mean,
for
what is
baby
your
for-
algorithm serving you?
No, this is a newspaper article, in the Guardian. Everyone read the same thing. It's not like I was fed this. It's that Guardian app. And the other thing you say for like anti-aging, they're putting these things like what's that called? Foreskin of babies or something like that. Some crazy.
God.
You saw that Gwyneth Paltrow. She's a nut job.
Yeah, she's a nut job.
But people are listening to us. While you say people are going back to this, there are some things which are okay, fine. I'm glad the people, but are drinking raw milk. That's a new thing now. Some states in the US made it legal to drink raw, and saying pasteurization is bad. So there is a danger. Because one side you have the mass-produced, you have the, what do you call them, the ultra-processed foods.
No, this is
UPI.
another extreme, but I'm talking about that slightly middle ground that is becoming
That's
a lot more.
where we need to be, because...
Wait, no.
Why?
Let me talk, because otherwise you're just going on and on and on.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
There is that middle ground that is becoming a lot more mass and becoming a lot more spoken about.
I don't think it's anywhere close to mass, but the middle ground is some place where we can at least have a discussion.
Yeah, maybe not mass, but at least more people are aware.
Very few still, but I'm glad it's at least starting.
No, no, Sandeep, you're wrong. Like, especially with...
What is mass?
Wait, let me tell you, no? Like, when we're talking about sustainable fashion from where we were in 2015 to where we are today, almost every second person knows about what sustainable fashion is. Forget whether they are buying products that are sustainable or still buying from... I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about awareness.
Awareness, yeah. No, I feel it's like depression, anxiety, right? Those words are being at least more circulated, at least with the hope that more understanding and awareness comes. But for every one of those things, it's also like every other brand now, like, oh yeah, Forever 21, sustainable line. Like, come on. That's like saying...
Forever 21 is long gone, by the way.
Whatever.
H&M.
H&M, sorry. Yeah, H&M. It's like saying a hooker was a virgin, right? Yeah. No, I mean, you're lying to people under the guise of like, let's at least, what, greenwashing, gaslighting, whatever you want to call it, virtue signal, all these things. But at least, according to you, the awareness is starting, which is, I think, a great first step.
Yeah. I think that's with all things that are slightly not...
Anything non-mainstream, which has to come back. Yeah.
So I feel like even with this, what we were talking about earlier is like the pendulum may swing a little bit in the other direction. I'm hoping it has to come back, because like, I don't know what the next generation...
It's big swings.
Yeah.
And then the swings get smaller.
Yeah.
And then hopefully there's some form of equilibrium. But it's also in our lives, right? As individuals, the more we're told to achieve, the more the failure goes. But as we get more and more sort of comfortable in our space, the swing, or rather the drastic extremes become less, and we're kind of able to find some sense of middle ground where we're able to operate from.
Yeah, like, I mean, this again may not be related, but like it's a thought of how to find that middle ground, right? Like, say for example, with Shasa wanting to watch TV, wanting to watch whatever, YouTube or something, whatever it is, she asks for it when she's bored. But then the previous generations say it's okay to get bored. And I mean, we are also saying that it's okay to get bored once in a while. But when that happens, they're told, like, it's exciting, right, to watch TV. There's so much entertainment. So like, if I'm bored, why can't you just give me the TV? Give me that
True.
phone to watch.
See, also
So,
getting
like,
bored,
how-
you get experimental. You go, you do
Fine,
something.
all that is
no,
there,
no,
but
not
how
that
do you-
way. But I'm saying, then we'll say no. Don't go climb up on that. She may be
Yeah.
bored. You know what I'm saying? So if you're letting or allowing a child to be bored, allow them fully to be bored. Let them do what they want in that time. But if you want your version of bored, it's not going to happen, yeah. Because for you, bored might be, daydreaming, just looking at the sea. But not everyone's made like that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's really hard to find that middle ground, because it is really exciting and there is that
Why
opportunity
not?
to
Yeah.
watch TV. So like, if I'm just hanging around and not knowing what to do, I'm done playing with my dolls.
Yeah.
Like, give me the phone.
And some stuff created for children on video is just beautiful. Like
Yeah.
the colors, the aesthetics, the way the music,
Some
the way
are
those
just
voice. And some are junk. Okay.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't even know what the names
Egg
are.
surprise.
I don't know what egg surprise, but like Beyblade and some of those things. It's just
Some
noise and
Rubbish.
the voices are jarring.
But it's like colorful and exciting.
It's
like,
overwhelming.
Yeah,
That's
it's
when I
not-
have a problem.
Yeah, but that's what gets them excited.
Like when I was a kid, I used to watch that movie called Heidi. Or that Swiss girl, and I was just like, I'd never been to Switzerland. I hadn't been till I was much later on. But like my idea of the Alps and this grandfather in a hut, and there's an owl, and there's an eagle that comes to take this baby owl. I'm like, oh my god, there's so much excitement. But now because of all these new visual graphics, it's become overloading the senses.
Yeah.
You know? Anyhow, I think I'm done.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what we wanted to just address, right? Because it's such a ongoing thing. We don't have an answer in each episode, but we just want to kind of lay out what we feel about certain things, like growing up and this noise about, the whole US elections, and also it kind of reflects across the world, that the ripples are felt. But I think this middle ground within yourself, and I think we've spoken about it in different kind of ideas.
Yeah.
Like last time about the past and the future and the present, and finding the space for yourself. I think it kind of resonates across themes. So of course, if you have anything to, clearly you don't, because you have you just take our word for it, because we haven't had a single feedback from you guys going, no, we disagree. Just like everything, yeah, you guys are the best. So we're going to assume we're the best.
But please like, subscribe, share, because it really will help us reach a lot more people. And that's the idea with the podcast, is for us to bring in more people into this conversation and this community that we're building and creating. So we'd love for you to please subscribe to our channel, rate our channel.
Yeah, on Spotify, especially if you give it a rating.
Really
and also
helps.
There's an option of commenting on Spotify, which I think is
Forget
great.
commenting, I think just like.
No, commenting, if you have something to say, don't just say, hi, Deepak here from Haryana, which is also great if you're Deepak from Haryana. Thanks for listening. But if you're not Deepak from Haryana and you just want to like, share, subscribe, or rate, RATE, the podcast, don't rape the podcast, that would be great. All right? That's
Thank you.
probably not a note we should end on, but thanks.
Thanks.